as you know, I like to bring people who are doing great things. And today I have someone who's special to me. She's one of my mentees and someone who I've really seen, set a goal and stop at nothing to make sure that that goal is achieved. She's a goal crusher. And I'm super proud of what she's been able to do. So I hope you guys are ready to hear a story from a person who believed in a goal. She had that goal for a couple of years, and then we worked together to see that goal come true. And now the cool thing, which I think is the most important part, is that that goal is actually helping to change people's lives. April Smith, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. Happy to be here with you, Buddha.
Thank you so much. Now, first things first, I see you have a lot of books
Yes.
behind you. Have you read every single book behind you?
Yes, I have. I read these books and I actually need to go back and read a couple of them. I mean, I think
Uh-huh.
people think that books are just nice to have and backgrounds, but no, I read these
Right.
books. So yeah.
Awesome. So which one is your favorite?
Oh man, there's so many. I don't even know which one I should go for. You know what? This one, in fact, I think a lot of people know about it.
Hmm.
The 4 hour work week. There were some really key principles in here that actually helped me to get on the path of actually goal setting. So
Right.
there's one prompt in the book that says, "What do you want to have, be, and do?" And I took
Hmm.
that concept and ran with it. And that was the beginning of me changing my mindset on how I actually approach my life.
Awesome. Now, what I like about you, April, is you're quite dynamic. You are a project management expert, but you're also a very dynamic entrepreneur. Now, can you tell me a little bit about the journey that you've taken to then become this person, a dynamic entrepreneur, but you have a 9 to 5 that's very demanding, but somehow you're able to juggle all of it and just make it work.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, going back to this book, even the concept of be, I had always
Mhm.
said I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to be in business, but I really didn't know what that business would be. So that thought process or that desire was always there. But I think for me, what I have done is I pay attention to how I feel, my thoughts, my intentions. And if I get an inkling to go after something, I start to do it and just go down the path and see what emerges. So it's the idea of being open to concepts. So it's one thing to have an idea of what you want to do and what type of life you want to live, but I think it's also about listening to those intuitions that actually inspire you to take action. So to give you some perspective, when I graduated from high school, I'm going all the way back to high school, I had this idea that I wanted to be a TV director and I
Mhm.
wanted to be in the TV industry to change the perception of African Americans on TV. At the
Right.
time, this was like the early 2000s. And for a long time, there weren't any solid, great, positive shows of African Americans. And I said, hey, I want to be a TV director. But
Mhm.
now things have changed and emerged from that desire. And so a lot of things shifted. I'm still to some degree involved in terms of entertainment, but the way it shows up in my life is different than what I originally intended.
It's interesting. So right now we're in the month of January when we're recording this. And January is a big month for people to be setting goals and New Year's resolutions and all that cool stuff. So, what are some of the big, hairy, audacious goals that you've set for 2024?
Well, to go back even to the idea of how I got into entrepreneurship, there was a year that I got really serious about what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And that year, I actually set goals with a quarter. So every quarter, I was aiming towards something that I wanted to achieve. And by having that focus about my desires and organizing, I didn't focus on the New Year's resolution. I had a vision in mind of what I desired. So in one quarter, I set out to actually achieve flipping a single family property. The second quarter,
Wow.
I actually invested in a restaurant in Atlanta, and at the time, I was living in Chicago. And then the
Hmm.
next quarter, I actually purchased a 4 unit investment property that I house hacked, meaning lived in one unit and rented out the others, not to mention it was a full-fledged renovation. And then the fourth quarter, I actually launched this brand. But all these things, it was more or less, hey, I know exactly what I want. I know I want to achieve it. So I had to create that balance of what I desired. So it all started with the reflection the year prior that set me up for that year in order to achieve all the things that I had achieved.
So, what you've just said is magnificent because you clearly created your future in a sense, right? You designed your future in your head, said,
Hmm.
this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do in this quarter, and this quarter, and this quarter.
Hmm.
And you just stopped at nothing to make it happen. Now, For people listening, even me, and I'm a person who's been able to do quite a lot. I'm actually, number one, impressed by what you've done. But number
Mhm.
two, I'm wondering, how do you manage your time and prioritize your projects? Because now it becomes a question of, okay, you're focusing on goal number one for this quarter. And then as goal number one is kind of like moving along and on its way to be achieved, now you have to start putting in the groundwork for the second one.
Right.
So just share some tips and tricks of how you manage your time and you prioritize your projects.
Well, the interesting thing about it is I'm a project manager by day. So that's what I do as a 9 to 5. And
Right, 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 right.
I help executives to achieve major goals for their organization, whether it be people, whether it be technology, whether it be implementing some new app or a function. So I specialize in project management and execution. I also know for
Mm,
me, as I assess myself as who I am as a person, one of the self-assessment tests I took said I'm a pilot. A pilot, as you know, within a flight, they're the leader, they guide and they're very driven, they're very focused people, and they are all about the task and executing. Now,
right.
that's just who I naturally am, and those are the skills. So that's what has allowed me to do the things I've been able to achieve. The other part about this is you mentioned the idea of having one goal, the next one coming up. But technically, I started all of these goals at the beginning of the year.
Mm,
But my focus was to really focus on the one that was in the forefront. So think about when you were in college, you had 8 classes. So you
right.
don't necessarily have to say, I can only do one class at a time. I'm just going to go and do the math course. And then next quarter, I'll do science. And next quarter, no, you're
Yeah, you
doing
have like
all the
15
things.
credits, whatever that you have to do at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Give or
yeah.
take.
So think about your goals in your life in the same way. There's a
Hmm.
certain time that you go to class. There's a certain time, you're taking lunch. There's a certain time you're studying. You organize your way, you organize yourself in that way. I don't want to simplify it for people to think that it was just that easy, but it's the idea that everything doesn't have to start and end. But there is important factors of having laser focus on one particular one, but you got a couple others. It's kind of coming up, but you don't have to put that same level of focus on it to get it going. I hope that helps to
No,
explain that.
I like that. And there's the whole dynamic of the wheel of life, right?
Mm,
Because, you know, we as human beings are complex. You have your personal finance, you have your social life, you have your health, you have all these different things. So you just have to ensure that you're splitting up your day to give the right amount of attention
right.
to whatever area of life you've deemed important so that the wheel stays round. Because like if you have a wheel that's flat, so like let's say a couple of areas in life are not well rounded, you
Mhm,
won't be able to go far. And the same thing applies for your goals, right? You know,
mhm,
you if there's a part of you that's yearning for goal A and another one that's yearning for goal B, and you're not really figuring out the right way to balance it,
mhm.
you could find a void in fulfillment, because you're just not balancing your time. But I think there's a key art, I think, of then being able to prioritize which gets the most energy and you get it across the line first, because
Mhm.
at times you might not be able to fully dedicate the same amount of time to all goals, and also all goals are not created equal. So
Yeah.
that's just my thought with regards to that. So you reached out to me, in a community that we're both a part of,
Mhm.
and you had one of your goals that you're like, hey, Kuda, there's this goal that I want to get across the line. So first of all, why did you decide to get a mentor for that specific goal?
Well, I think you should have a mentor and a community for any goal you're a part of. It
Hmm.
creates a sense of accountability. There's someone that might be more experienced than you that can guide you and lead you along the way because you also have an opportunity to learn from someone else's lessons so you don't repeat them. So
Hmm.
I may be starting from ground zero, but the person that I'm learning from may be at ground 2, 3, 4, maybe even 10. So I
Right,
don't
right,
have
right.
to learn all of these things all by myself and be alone. So I seek for any goal that I have, I seek a mentor. The fact that I wanted to be in real estate, I had a mentor for that. The fact that I want to flip a property, meaning renovate it, I've had to find a specific mentor that specializes in that area, not just anyone that's in real estate. So I think it's
Right.
important to identify people who have done what you've done to be able to not only learn from them, but also to gain the lessons. So, because I understood that you shared that you had created your own planner, I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to do that. So when I
Hmm.
talk about the desire of that book, The 4 Day Work Week, I had a desire of creating my own planner, but I had set that goal five some odd, I don't know, 5, 8 years ago. But it's that idea that you follow that intention, then eventually some of the things that you desire naturally will attract to you. So it's the idea of putting out there what you want, the universe, God, whatever you deem, will then be able to bring those things to you and you attract it. And so the fact that you had done it before, it made sense for me to reach out to you and say, how can I do this?
Yeah, and this is so powerful. So I got a call from a two-time Olympic athlete. I'm a paid speaker. I'm represented by bureaus. And when he reached out to me, I was like, hey, Kuda, I need your help to become a speaker. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, you raced against Usain Bolt. Like, what am I going to teach you? You're the one who's supposed to teach me. And then he said something to me that I will never forget. He was like, Kuda, every Olympian recognizes that in order for them to actually reach that level, they need a coach.
Yes.
And that just stuck with me. And I am right there with you in terms of getting mentors and also mentoring people that I can guide, along the way. So a lot of you viewers probably know that I'm one of the founders of the This Is My Era planner. And when April reached out to me, she also wanted to create a planner. Now, I'm going to be fully honest and transparent. A part of me was like, why would I help someone who's going to be a competitor for me? Like, because I'm in the planner space, she also wants to create a planner. Wouldn't we be competing? But then something just hit me, which is, you know, the marketplace is so big. Like, think about it. In America, there's what? Over 300 million people. And, I'm not going to be able to serve every single person in America through my business. It'll be great, but let's be realistic. It's not going to be possible. But I also realize that we've all been given unique gifts by God. And as individuals, number one, it is our responsibility to harness those gifts and share them with the world. But number two, it's also our responsibility to help each other unlock those gifts. So for me, I was like, you know what? Let me help her because there are people out there that I'm never going to serve. They're never going to find my planner. They're never going to find my product. And maybe if they do, they're never probably going to resonate with it because they're not looking for the solution that I've created. They're looking for April's solution. So it then created a mindset of abundance in a sense to say like, hey, there's an abundance of people out there. I'm going to get my share. April is going to get her share. So let me work with you. Let me teach you the process. Let me accelerate your learning curve. Let me introduce you to my suppliers. Like, no problem with that. So I think when you come from a place of abundance rather than scarcity or just trying to, hog the market, you're essentially blocking blessings from yourself. So saying all of this to say, I worked with April to help create her daily executional planner. And April, can you share with the viewers about your planner, the One Day brand, and show us your product, like what came out of the exercise that you and I did together?
Yeah, well, I'll start with the why. I think with anything, the why in mind is always important. One for me, I've tried multiple planners. While I was in business school, there was a lot that I was juggling. I was managing a demanding 9 to 5 yet again, and going to business school. I went to Emory Gozetta Business School, and it's a top 20 business school. So there's a lot that's on you. So I wanted to make sure that I had the right planner that was going to keep me organized to do what I need to do in order to graduate on time and achieve that particular goal. But in that process, I never quite found the planner that really resonated with me. And I also saw in the marketplace that a lot of planners did not always gear towards Black women, right? And so
Mm.
I felt like there was a gap in the market for that. And I also felt there was a gap in the market for the type of planner I wanted, which was a goal focused planner to help people achieve big, audacious goals. This
Right.
planner is not about just having a list of items in your calendar that you want to do and check them off every day. No, this planner is meant for you to go after those one day, someday goals that you think about doing, but you never take action. So coming out of my mentorship with Kuda, this is the planner that came up. It's a black one. It's the daily execution planner. It comes in multiple colors, you know, again, geared towards women. There's a teal, I call it a tenacious teal. And then I
Mm-hmm.
also have the gray, but it's also considered metallic. So it is the Goal Getter Gray Daily Execution Planner. And then I also have the last color, last but not least, is the Perseverance Pink. And so going for women, we like colors, you like bold colors, and African American women, there's also a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, pink and green. But one of my top sellers is definitely the traditional Black planner. So this planner in and of itself is broken down into 90 days. So as I mentioned before, I hit a goal every single quarter, and this
Mm-hmm.
planner helps me to achieve those goals because they're broken out in a way that helps me to hit the target every 12 weeks. I'm hitting on something.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
So, where can people find this planner?
So you go to the one day.co, THEONE day.co, CO, the one day.co. It's also sold on Amazon by simply typing in one day daily execution planner, and you'll find it there as well.
So, the link is going to be in the description. So, if you just check the description below, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to get the link for both her website and Amazon, so you can go grab it. And if you do buy it on Amazon, one thing that helps small businesses like April's and even my business as well is reviews.
Yeah.
So just leave your candid review if the planner has helped you and made you more productive and has played a key role in keeping you organized and achieving your goal. Share that with the world because it will enable others who would be shopping around and considering to buy a planner to actually pick up April's planner. Now, one of the missions that you've shared with me that I love is, you want to empower Black women to actualize their dreams. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And also, how does the daily execution planner contribute to this mission?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's interesting, as Black women, we wear many hats. And even during the pandemic, we were the demographic that started the most businesses during that time. We became
Mm,
business owners. We were really, really passionate about it than any other demographic. As time went on, however, some of these businesses did not survive or they did not evolve. So for me, I want women, Black women to, in particular, to think about what is it that they want, but also the idea that these desires and passion we have, they end up going by the wayside because of secondary activities. Meaning we're the ones that are supporting our families, we're putting other people first, putting people before us. But this planner is meant to be a goal setting planner for you to go after those one day, someday goals that you always put off. And I want to help keep them accountable to actually achieve it through the planner. So the planner is set up in a way that is one acknowledging what is it that you actually want? What is the specific goal? And really breaking it down in a sense to understand why do you want it? Why is this goal important to you? And when you do in fact achieve it, who's going to benefit? It's important to understand these things because that's going to be that internal motivation, desire to keep you going. The other part of this planner that I think is also important is broken up by weeks for you to really think about what is it that I want to accomplish in a given week. And again, what are all the other things in my life that have to be met so that you never lose sight of the full perspective of yourself as an individual and as a woman of things that you want to do. So it's what are the priorities that you have to get done for the week, but what are the priorities also for this goal I'm trying to achieve or I'm seeking to achieve. And then there's a portion of the planner that really focuses on the daily execution. What are you doing each day in order to achieve them? And oh, by the way, how are you adjusting and adapting as life changes and as lives, as we call it? So it's a great way to help you. And then I have quotes sprinkled throughout from popular African Americans, men and women, who will serve as a way to kind of keep you going along the way. But little quotes are always helpful to kind of keep you going.
So one of the things that I love about the way you've set up your one day brand is that new customers can actually schedule a tutorial with you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
15-minute free tutorial to really help them get grounded, but more importantly, to even connect with the founder. What made you come up with that idea, and how has it been working lately?
Yeah, it's all about simplifying the process for your customer. And I consider a three-step process. Number one, purchase a planner. Number two, schedule a call. It's a free booking call, 15 minutes, just you and I. I'm going to help you one-on-one to help you get on the right track. And then last but not least, the last step is execute and achieve your goal. Very simple. So when you go to the site, the oneday.co, you scroll to the bottom, purchase a plan of your choice, and book a call. These calls have been so inspiring to me because I get to hear what it is that people want, and it re-energizes me about why I actually decided to do the planner. It also helps them to be accountable for what they want to achieve and really understand how to use it so they can achieve their goal.
That's amazing. So, guys, like I said, if you buy the planner, even on Amazon or on her website, take advantage of that, because she's spent so much time and energy really thinking about goal setting. But more importantly, she's a proven goal getter, right? She's been able to do so many things within a very short period of time, meaning that she has a process and a framework that works. And she's highly paid to be a project manager. So if you're wondering how you can juggle so many different things, this is the maven, this is the expert you need to be talking to. Now, one of my books that I'm planning on reading this year
Mhm.
is a book that you authored.
Hey.
So let's see it. There we go. Goal Crusher, the
Yeah.
ultimate guide to achieving big, audacious goals.
Yeah.
So congratulations on being a published author. Welcome to the
Thank
club.
you. Thank
I
you.
also have a book, but it's always great when you see other people, getting into the book, to kind of like the author club.
Yeah.
For me personally, writing a book was probably one of the hardest things that I've done. I'm
Yeah.
curious, what was your experience as you were, writing your book? Was it tough? Was it,
Yeah.
easy? And number two, what is the book about? It's called Goal Crusher. I think I kind of like get a sense as to what it's about, but I would love to know a little bit more, because I'm going to read it later this year. I haven't read it yet, but if you can give
Yeah.
me and the viewers a sneak peek, that'll be great.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I think is interesting is people think they know how to write a goal, right? Oh, yeah, I got a goal. But it's also understanding how to write it in such a way that it feels like it's something you can actually achieve and it's declarative.
Right,
So
right, right, right.
what I wanted to do was to pair the planner and the book together, because
Mm-hmm,
these two things together will help you to achieve your goal. Goal crusher is the idea of understanding how do you really define the goal and what are some of the steps that you need to take in order to get it, regardless of what it is. I think there's a shift in understanding what habits you currently have that may need to be adjusted in order to achieve the goal. So I talk about habits and how to overcome them and how to set them. I also talk about the idea of intention. So it's
mm-hmm.
one thing to have a goal, but it's setting it with intention and executing with it purposefully so that you don't lose focus of yourself and who you are. So for me, working a 9 to 5, having a demanding job, I could easily get distracted and give up on it because there's other things that are higher priorities because it's my job or it's family. But there's a way in which you can organize and set yourself up to stay focused on the goal. But ultimately, it's walking you through the steps of how you can adjust yourself in order to get what you want. I had a really great mentor that told me you have to know what you want, right? And in
Mm-hmm.
order to achieve what it is that you want, either you have to change what you say that you want or change who you are to get what you want. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So
It's all
this
about the stories you tell yourself, because there's some people who tell themselves um, stories that are not empowering. So it then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy
Mhm,
where you're never going to achieve it. Because think about it. If you have a goal, let's say to become a millionaire,
mm,
but the story you're telling yourself is, I'm not good enough, you know, money, I'm not good with money,
mhm,
I'm bad at investing. Well, those are the vehicles that are going to get you to achieve the success you want. So I think it's success is a combination of having the right psychology with the action, right? Because if you have the right psychology, you tell yourself the right stories, they're empowering, you believe
Right.
then the ability will work itself out, because we all have the innate ability to achieve anything. But if you don't believe you could do it, you'll never do it. Nobody was born a CEO. Nobody was born an Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
You're born with the ability, but then you have to develop the belief that will trigger you to take the necessary action that will enable you to then achieve that goal. So that's just the way I look at life, and that's what I term the ultimate success formula. When you can truly believe that you can achieve something and tie it in with the right amount of massive action to get you there, it then now just becomes a matter of time for you to actually live in that reality. All right, so April, let's do some rapid fire questions. I'm just going to ask you some quick questions, and then you just have to quickly pick what you like. So the first question is pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
All right. Now, if you were to take a vacation, would you take a cruise or you'd rather go camping?
That's a hard one. I'm going to go with the cruise.
Okay, cruise. And where would you go?
Caribbeans.
The Caribbeans. All right.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to travel by plane, would you rather go to France or would you rather go to Bora Bora?
Oh, Bora Bora.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're a big drinker or not, but rum and Coke or a margarita?
I'm not really a drinker. I'm going to go with margarita.
All right. And on a night out, black dress or jeans?
A classic black dress.
Classic black dress. I like how you emphasize classic right there. Okay. Well, let's turn things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you take $1 million in cash or $10,000 a month for the rest of your life?
Okay, so I'm going to do $10,000 a month for the rest of my life. But whoever I make that negotiation with, it's going to be a pretty sweet contract to be into perpetuity, for it to pass on to whoever is coming after me. What
No,
time?
it's saying for the rest of your life. So
My
when
life,
you die,
only
it
my life.
goes away. So if you get the $10,000 today and you die next month, not saying, but that's the scenario, like for your life. So you could probably only make 10,000, or if you live like Methuselah and reach like 103, you're gonna make a lot of bank. So you kind of like have to choose what you want to go with. And it sounds like you want to get the 10K per month.
Gosh, I have to go with the million. It just makes a better deal. But yeah.
Okay, cool. So now how can people connect with you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram by going to @April Smith, just like the month. And then you can also follow my brand in the one day, which is the THONE, the one day _official, to get more tips and advice to keep going. And then also you can always connect with me by going to my website, booking the session, and we can live connect one-on-one after you purchase the one-day daily execution planner. So I look forward to meeting those who are interested in the product, but I'm looking forward to what's ahead.
Awesome. April, thank you so much. I think we might need to do a round 2 to check on your progress. And I'm so happy for you. And if there are viewers out there who want to start their own plan of business, the link to my mentorship is below. So feel free to check it out. But more importantly, go and purchase April's planner and make sure you achieve those goals that you want to achieve. And also grab it as a bundle and buy the book as well. Because I think having the two together will just help you on your journey. So wishing you success and all the good things that come with success, and I'll see you at the top.